it's Athena. I'm making a video for you today that I am actually super surprised to be making. It's a book haul video, as you may have seen from the title. I've made a conscious effort to stop buying so many books. It dawned on me a while back that I was buying all these books and I never sat down and actually read them from cover to cover. I think I've started the majority of them and I've picked my way through a few, but I'm not big on completing books, I've realized, which is shocking because I was a readaholic for the majority of my life, and it's only been since Pinterest became a thing that I kind of stopped reading a whole lot of books. All that said, I have a rather sizable stack of books to share with you. I ended up going by one of my favorite bookstores when I was in Tennessee called McKay's. I wanted to share with you what I picked up there. A few books. The priciest one I purchased was the main one I wanted to get, and that is The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. The Lottery is actually just a super short story for anyone who's never read it. It's super short, a few pages long, and all the rest of this book is many other short stories. As of yet, I've only read 2. I read The Lottery, and then I read one called The Witch. Shocking. Are you surprised I read that? The Witch was not anything notable. And The Lottery, I'm going to reread it. I didn't see what all the fuss was about. Heard that when it was published, which I feel like was in the 30s, but I could be wrong, it blew people's minds. It made people unsubscribe from whatever newspaper or magazine it had been published in. She got hate mail. There was a lot to it. When I read it, I was just like, y'all, this is nothing. But I guess it was an innocent time, quote unquote. And it was one of the first things published that had a Hunger Games vibe to it, but those people who freaked out back then, they would really lose their minds now if they saw what has happened since. I plan to maybe not read every single short story in here, but pick and choose a few. I'm not a huge fan of short stories, although in this new phase of life of mine in which I don't read entire books, maybe a short story should be my jam. Whatever. That's what I went for. I got it. It was the only copy there. It was $7.50. That was the priciest thing I picked up. There were quite a few things I purged at the last minute because I do that. I will throw a lot of things in the cart. This is true shopping online or shopping in person somewhere. I will put things in the cart, and then when it comes time to pay, I make some serious cuts. Another book I got. I keep hearing about this one. Many Lives, Many Masters. I've heard about it from many of my podcasts that I enjoy. Recently, Ryan Singer from Me and Paranormal You and his newest one, This Is Where the Magic Happens, he continually brings it up. I will say I got it on Audible and I hated it, but this one might be one I like better reading the hard copy. So it was $1. So I figured even if I don't read it all, it was $1. It's okay. This is another one I heard about from a podcast that I used to love, which was Psychic Teachers. I don't listen to it much anymore, but for ages I loved it. And this was one of the Feng Shui books that one of the hosts really liked. Again, it was only $1.50. It's cool because it has pictures and images in it. I just found somebody's random piece of paper in there. That's kind of funny. But it's got little pictures and guidelines. I'm not saying my books have to have pictures on them. I am saying it doesn't hurt. This one I got for school. It's only 25 cents, and it was called Mysterious Messages. It's about ciphers and codes through the years. It's pretty cool. I think my students will definitely dig it because, when you teach the super smarty pants kids, they love stuff like this. It's got famous people in there. I haven't read any of these books, so I can't attest to anything. I can't attest to it was $0.25. This was 75 cents, so, evens out that dollar. I love these types of books. I bought one forever ago called Knock on Wood. I probably shared it with you. It was probably 2 years ago, at least. It is so cool. It's about superstitions and things, but there's magic in that stuff. I just opened it randomly. No, there's not tons of pictures, but the beginning of the chapter. I'll have to get my glasses if I want to share any of this with you. Let's see what this says. Red sky at night. Sailor's delight, red sky in the morning, sailor's warning, and then explains, oddly enough, this does have some basis in scientific fact. Weather tends to move from west to east, so a sun setting in a clear westerly sky and throwing its glow onto clouds in the east indicates that bad weather had passed over and the coming conditions are fine. The other way around indicates the opposite situation. Clear weather is soon to be replaced by incoming clouds from the west. Another thing is, like, you can kind of look at animal behavior to figure out weather. Like, this is low-flying swallows. Those wishing to know whether a storm is on the way should watch out for swallows on the wing, since according to popular old wives' tale, their height is an indication of the weather. Swallows fly high, no rain in the sky. Swallows fly low, 'tis likely to blow. I love stuff like this. Shooting stars, full moon, international talisman. Is that a cyclops? Evil eye charms. It's pretty cool. This looks like it would be a Judika Elish book, but it isn't. The cover reminds me of some of her books, but it's very small in comparison. Some of the creatures in here are mythical and some are real. Give me an animal, any animal. We'll look it up. I heard tortoise. Does somebody out there think tortoise? Okay, let's look it up. I found the tortoise. Well, while the turtle is sea-going creature, the tortoise is land animal. It's said to be highly promiscuous and sexually potent. One of y'all out there put that in my head. Sacred to both Aphrodite and Hermes, has a strong erotic connotation. It talks about Hindu, Chinese. Wow. Tortoise is one of the oldest mythological animals of West Africa, represents feminine power with the snake as masculine. The tortoise is considered the origin of all juju and symbolizes fertility. Most African traditions declare that the tortoise cannot be defeated, which makes it extremely lucky. And there is a Swahili song in which the tortoise sings, "I move house and yet I never move house. I carry my home whenever I travel." Okay. It looks cool. So that's the end of the books I picked up at McKay's. I got home yesterday from my 11-day trip south, and there was a package that had been on my front porch. One of my Muggle friends, she's one of my oldest friends. I've never told her anything about this stuff. She knows I do YouTube. She's never asked the name. I have certainly never offered it. She was taking care of my kitty cat and bringing in the mail, and so she brought in this wet box. She sent me a text, and I said, crap, there's some books in it. She said, should I unload it? I said, nah, it's all right. And she's like, too late, I already did. She pulled out all these books from Ember, Honey Raven. Just want you to see what my friend the Big Mouth opened. There's this. Love potions and charms. Ooh la la. Fairies. And medicine wheel. So these are my other new books. And thank you to Ember for sending these. There was a lot of other fun stuff in the box, but it was just funny that this one person who I would probably never tell about this stuff, not because she's super religious, but she's super chatty. Super duper chatty. She's a big mouth, is what I'm saying. And so there's that. Ooh, I like that there's color pictures in it. It's a super cool book. Lots of color. I like it. I'm really excited about this one also. I haven't looked at it yet, but it looks like exactly what it says. Like there's an absolute ton of prayers. I've been looking for a good meal prayer to say with Poochie. Usually when we have dinner, we say a little prayer real quick. And usually he just does, God is great, God is good, let us thank him for our food, yada, yada, yada. I don't love that one. Lately, I have been saying, bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. But I would love a really great prayer that was pagan in nature, but that was safe enough to share in front of his very Christian grandparents. You know what I'm saying? It does have a lot of guidance and inspiration for writing your own, or it's like most spells. I have spell books, but I rarely use any spell by the book. I use a few cross-reference and then find what works for me, and I think this will be a nice little help for creating something. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I plan on continuing to read the short stories from the lottery while also perusing the other books. I think one reason I don't finish books cover to cover is because 99% of all my books are nonfiction, or they're books like this. So you don't really have to read it from beginning to end, but I think I do want to make a habit out of forcing myself to finish a book. I think I said that back at New Year's. That was one of my New Year's resolutions. And it's summer break now, so I have less of an excuse. I'm not so busy that I'm falling asleep at the minute I sit down around 8:30 or 9 p.m. I mean, I can do it. If you've read any of these books, please leave me a little message below. If you have, I would say if you have any recommendations, but maybe don't recommend anything because I got way more than I need. One day I might make a video, show you all the books I have. I know compared to some people, Corey, I don't have that many, but I have a lot. And the ones that I don't turn to as a reference, I need to let those go, which is what Ember was doing. And she asked me first. She didn't just throw these books at me. We talked and she showed me a bunch and I said yes to all these books. These all looked really good to me. I said no to a few books also because I knew like these, there's a chance I'm going to read. And then some of them I was like, I don't think I'm going to read that. So thank you to Ember and thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well and talk to you next time. Peace.